that means, right?
There's an agreement between me and Cinder, and I won't say what it is. I'm probably going to screw it up. I know myself.
Of course. Alliance have picked Silencer previously in this tournament. They ran it together with a solo mid Warlock, as a matter of fact, and had really long as well in that game. This time around, not the obvious setup. They get really great teamfight potential out of having Invoker Kunkka together, and then with the global silence on top of that can really disrupt Na'Vi here. But at the same time, you're just wondering the early game in their lanes, because Na'Vi's early games really explode.
A few things, but they've already picked them, so I'm going to sound like a complete noob just saying that they picked them because. But Kunkka was picked, and I thought it could be for either side, to be perfectly honest, although Na'Vi was less likely because they had already picked a DP and Jugs. But the Shadow Demon or Crystal Maiden are great at setting up the Torrent, which I'm excited to see, along with the Invoker Sunstrike, actually, if he ends up going an Exort build, which I guess it's possible. I mean, I think Quas Wex is a little bit more popular right now, but it's still definitely possible. They have a lot of aggression possibilities with both lineups, actually. This is going to be a lot of action for sure. I'm going to be missing some kills, Cinder. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
10 seconds to 10 seconds.
As per usual. That's great to hear.
That's what you get with Sun's fan camera work. Every time.
You're getting in the groove slowly. It's sometimes we have a little bit of a in game one. Hopefully you will not need that again today, Shannon. But
this set for Nyx. Holy crap.
Everybody
is that the yes.
Going Dagon on his back.
Yeah, that's the one where I think if you get Dagon, it actually creates an
shoots
effect.
it out of that.
Yeah.
I can't help but think of like a Tesla coil when I see this. It just somehow reminds me of the Tesla coil from Red Alert.
And then on the other side of the Conchavos looks like he has something wrong with his face, basically.
Doesn't Juggernaut look like that with every mask? Alright.
Not every mask, come on now.
So let's quickly run over it as the teams are moving out into their lanes. We've got Havost, like you said, will be playing the Juggernaut. We've got Funnick on Nyx Assassin. Dendi will be playing as Death Prophet. Kuroki on the Shadow Demon, and that leaves Puppy to play the Vengeful Spirit.
And on the other side of the coin, S4 is going to be playing the Invoker, who is not using our set. God dang it, S4, you disgust me. And then looks like Aki playing Crystal Maiden. No big surprise there. EGM, the support silencer, which is kind of a shame. Although it's EGM, so he's going to get levels one way or another. Loda playing the Kunkka with the awesome... Oh my god. It's like he has a red dot on his face. This is all messed up. This pipe was made by random smiley face guy because that is like the best pipe ever. Has a special effect. And in fact, he has the gold. I have this Kunkka sword as well. It drops gold when he levels up Tidebringer. It's awesome. And then last but not least, Admiral Bulldong playing his bristleback in the side solo.
I don't know. I feel like this Kunkka's like Terminator somehow.
Yeah, that's true.
It really
actually.
is Terminator.
I don't know what this is. Okay, so that red dot is supposed to be coming out of his pipe. I'm not sure why it's directly on his face. He's just that much of a man, I suppose.
That's good. Somehow. All right. I mean, what lane do we watch? Because in this tournament we've actually had quite a few try versus try lanes, but in this one I feel like it's going to be way less obvious where shit's about to go down. I think mid lane is very unlikely as a killing lane. Bottom lane, however, I think Na'Vi have great kill potential in the bottom lane compared to the one of Alliance up top, especially since they're choosing to just jungle Ake, which is a very classic Alliance thing to do. When they run against solo offlane, Ake just goes full-time jungle with his Crystal Maiden. Gets a fast level 3, get 2 points in the aura, just keep frostbiting the creeps and help out the lanes with the aura, whereas the bottom lane for Na'Vi has great kill potential. Disruption into the Vengeful Stun and then the Juggernaut Blade Fury, although Kuroki hasn't skilled yet, so he might actually choose to go for the Soul Catcher instead for the damage output.
Well, I was expecting lots of kills, and I'm not expecting as many now. I mean, Bristleback, this is probably the best lane to get kills, at least at the start, for Na'Vi, but we're talking about Bristleback here. Going to be pretty difficult as long as he can get that ass in order, or that ass, what am I trying to say, his ass towards them? Does that make sense? That everybody knows what I'm trying to talk about. Funnick, in the meantime, he's going to be able to live just because this is a dual lane like you were talking about. Well, once Crystal Maiden comes in and gets those frostbites off, and then the Torrent's pretty much guaranteed disable, that's going to be a guaranteed kill overall. So I'm waiting for that. But of course, by doing this, they're going to be getting more levels than Na'Vi, although they're starting to jungle now. They're realizing that Bristle is probably a little bit too difficult to kill, although he is just going to go Ancient for now, which Admiral Bulldong loves to do.
Yeah, and he has the Crystal Maiden aura helping him out, so he actually has pretty good potential of doing this stack. It shouldn't be underestimated, neither overestimated what it means to have a level 2 Crystal Maiden aura, but it can actually make the difference for a Bristleback as to what point he can do these Ancients at. We might see Bulldog going for a bottle to be allowed to do that, or perhaps the aura is enough. We're gonna see. At least he's stacking it up for now. Now we haven't blocked it. They're gonna find a Haste Rune though for Kuroki, and they don't have a smoke actually, which I feel like is kind of uncharacteristic for Na'Vi to not have a smoke when they have this kind of a support duo in the early game. And that means getting a setup on S4 in the mid lane is gonna be a lot harder. But speaking of that mid lane, I don't even know if Dendi needs help. He's actually crushing S4 right now. Double his CS, 2 more denies, sorry, and just taking really good control of this mid lane for now. But at the same time, Dendi could easily become a victim at some point here.
Funnick is gonna rotate over towards the mid lane. Gonna probably run into Ake, who is higher level than him. But as you talked about, Dendi dominating. I guess it's not too big a surprise considering it is a Quas Wex Invoker, so the last hitting won't be as easy. But of course, the Cold Snap will be just completely rigged, which it already is to begin with. So looking forward to seeing some of that. Bulldog level 2. So comparing the offlaners, Bulldog doing a little. I don't know if I should be calling him Bulldog, to be honest, but it's just too good.
It's his name. I mean, why not?
I guess. Either way, he's a little bit higher level, so doing a little bit better overall. And in fact, he's probably going to hit 3 once he finishes off these Ancients if he's able to do so. But you're right, the Crystal Maiden aura is an absolute godsend for him, for sure.
I don't think he could do this before he's level 3. He needs the... Or actually, it only upgrades the base damage. The stack damage is the same on all levels on Quill Spray, which is really interesting. But I still think he needs more of the base damage, to be honest, to do this. He needs to stack it up too many times for his mana pool. And Na'Vi are just realizing, okay, well, if Bulldog doesn't even want to show on the lane, we're just going to push his tower really fast with the healing ward. And if he tries to defend without TP support, we can initiate on him easily. Do Alliance have TPs? Crystal Maiden does have one, and he even grabs an Invis Rune. Dendi could actually be in trouble here soon in mid, unless if Ake chooses to try to defend this bottom tower, which it doesn't really look like at the moment. They're gladly conceding this. They know Bulldog is going to get experience for it, but I feel like this is... It's a little bit expensive to just pay a tower for experience like that, especially when you rotate your offlaner to that lane to push.
Dendi's spidey senses are definitely tingling right now.
I saw the rune being picked up by Ake. Actually, they have a ward.
So he knows. His senses aren't tingling, he just knows.
Dendi's eyes are tingling.
But the push continues. The push continues bottom. Bulldog can't do a whole lot. Spin's going to be used by Chavost, and... I mean, it's not the most traditional pushing team. I mean, you have the healing ward, obviously. I think Puppy's, yeah, I was going to say he has at least one in his aura to be able to help with the push just a little bit. And he's doing just that. I was having more rotation, S4, along with some TPs. That's going to force Kuroki and the rest of the team back. The Tornado only hits 1. If it had hit Kuroki, perhaps would have been a kill. Actually, probably not. They didn't have a whole lot of follow-up as Loda actually TPs in as well. So that's actually quite a bit of an investment to TP in and do basically nothing.
I'm surprised Na'Vi got that kind of response. I was about to say, okay, Alliance definitely need to respond here and can easily do so by just TPing in the Maiden. But because Kunkka TPs first, the CM comes in so late that she couldn't follow up on the Tornado. I actually think they couldn't have done that anyway, so Alliance, a little bit of mistiming to cost them, but now Dendi in mid will definitely be the first blood here.
Yeah,
there's no way out of this one.
Frostbite, Torrent, way too much damage. Invoker's the one who picks up the first blood, so beautifully done. Dendi, despite being very passive, when that invis was picked up, ended up going down after the rotation. So that's actually a very surprising kill, to be perfectly honest, considering the response that Alliance had, and they ended up getting away with it somehow.
The top lane, EGM taking a lot of damage. He's actually without boots, so Funnick could try to pursue this one. He breaks the salve. We'll continue here. EGM doing whatever he can to just juke a little bit. We'll get off the last word here. Oh, this could be close. Loda will get that kill. Last word,
too good. X marks. End up getting the kill.
There was someone in our chat. I have to quote this. That was really good. So we talked about this Terminator Kunkka, right? He was like, Terminator Kunkka uses X marks the spot. You'll be back.
Somebody needs to make a PNG of that.
I have to quote that. That was too good. That was a legit.
It's pretty amazing.
So
forward to some art. Photoshop that.
Yeah, we got the Crocodile Dundee and the Poupée last time. That was really good. So always cool when the community interacts and makes this fan art. I've always been amazed by the creativity we've got in the community as far as that goes.
Impale was already used at top lane to use put it on creeps for whatever reason. X marks the spot. Spike Carapace is going to be stunning EGM for now. I don't think they have enough damage to follow this up, unfortunately, but Funnick pretty much has no mana. He's going to use his mana burn at the last moment. And Dendi has his level 6. Well, he's level 7, actually. Perhaps he's going to use his ultimate very shortly to actually start pushing down towers. Of course, they already have one tower, and the pushing potential from Na'Vi is pretty damn good. Bulldog is going to get caught out, perhaps. Nope, the stun's not going to count from Vengeful Spear, although they're not going to have enough damage to kill him either way.
He's actually going to turn around as S4 comes down. This could be a big mistake for Na'Vi. Kuroki's actually going to disrupt the Invoker here after he gets off the Cold Snap. That's going to be a very easy kill for Alliance. 3-1 for them, and maybe even 4. Puppy now caught in a little bit of a Crystal Maiden sandwich here. And Invoker needs
How is that a sandwich?
More attack. I don't know.
How?
That was a weird sandwich. You know...
That's like a sandwich with one piece of bread. Come on, Cinder. What kind of sandwiches do you eat, bro? Jesus.
I'm from Europe, dude. We do it differently over here.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Understood.
Yeah, that could have been a sandwich, but then, I don't know. Okay, he didn't actually... Yeah.
Ooh. One impale, 2 seconds away. Is he going to be able to get a kill? No, he uses mana burn, actually, instead, and ends up getting Curse to the Side. Wow. Kunkka's going to use his ship basically for the buff and nothing else.
He hit
one
EGM
more hit
with it.
With the ship? Oh, you're talking about the debuff,
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, the
and
ship
one more
itself
hit.
actually is right on
Did it actually? Okay, I'm an idiot. Either way, stun's gonna come out. Puppy's gonna TP in. Disruption to follow. Soul Catcher on top of that. Should be enough damage. Just the right clicks alone will all likelihood kill him. And it is. Dendi, though, has the haste. Can't really find anybody, though. I can't believe that ship actually hit and I missed it. Am I that blind?
No, what I meant was it hit, you know, he threw it to save EGM, and then it basically hit EGM right on the head, but he's an ally, so it doesn't do anything apart from applying the buff.
You made me think that I was an idiot because I actually said the debuff, or the buff, I should say, was applied. So how dare you, Cinderin?
Well, I guess I accomplished my goal then.
You and your one bread sandwiches.
Top lane.
And he's gonna pop Exorcism, and this tower is gonna take a little bit of damage, but TP support is coming in to support Ake. Loda has the ship in 4. Of course, that is such a low cooldown on the ship. An amazing, and I think a lot of people forget about how good the buff is for that. That is the main benefit, I think. I mean, for me, the damage is like the icing on the cake, to be perfectly honest. The main thing for me is the buff, for sure.
Yeah, the buff has been unchanged in many versions, and the way the ship has been buffed has actually been a cooldown reduction as well as higher damage. It's insane damage in the early game, but definitely when you get to the mid game, especially because of the damage scaling, it's really about the buff you apply to teammates. As S4 actually solo kills the Nyx assassin here in the mid lane, so good job to S4. And
MP too good.
What do we have to say about Loda? I mean, you said he had the golden sword and he has a hand of Midas.
Oh,
where do you go from here?
Omni Slash. I thought he was gonna get Ghost Walk off, but didn't have time to invoke it. Sorry, what was your question, Cinderin? As I'm actually catching all the kills for once in my life.
Oh, I'm talking about really important stuff like Loda having Hand of Midas and a golden sword. So how can he improve his bling?
Well,
here
he can play ability draft and get Greevil's Greed on top of all that. As we see a
torrent. The ship's gonna come in as well.
It's gonna hit on Funnick. Spike Carapace comes up a little bit too late. It looks like this tower is gonna be close to deny. He's gonna get stunned from Puppy along with the Impale. Navi's gonna try to back up, but there's a Frostbite. There's the EMP. Funnick getting very low. The EMP's gonna hit. Doesn't really do a whole lot of damage because his mana was pretty much dissipated at that point. Tornado is gonna. Oh, it's almost enough to kill him. Not quite enough though. As he's gonna chase, he's gonna get the kill. Is this gonna be enough though for him to get away? We're seeing Kunkka kill Vengeful Spirit on the sidelines, and S4 is gonna attempt to run him. He is so freaking fast. Oh, the wave's gonna hit him from Dendi. Crocodile Dendi, beautifully done. And the Torrent just gonna add a little insult to non-injury, really. And this is gonna break things up. So 2 for 2 overall.
At the same time, we see a 1-for-1 trade-off up top. Kuroki actually manages to kill EGM before Kuroki dies to the creeps, and because of that, the global silence was actually wasted as well. Or I don't know if it secured EGM getting the kill in the end because we were looking mid, but at least the global silence was used there, so that was kind of a big deal. And you forgot our deal. Shame on you.
I'm sorry. I didn't even notice it was you. That's what I'm telling you, man. It's just too hectic. I can't remember these things. People don't even know what we're talking about. They just think
some do, but yeah. We'll see if we can pick it up later in the game. I would love to have that happen. But anyway, now it's kind of spoiled,
this whole game. Yes.
So anyway, Alliance, they do come out ahead in this fight, I guess, overall you could say, but the gold is actually still favoring Na'Vi, and it's the tower advantage. They're 1 tower ahead, but about 1,000 behind in the experience, but this is a very even game at the moment. And that means it's going to come down to Navi's... Oh, wait a second, Puppy's going to actually initiate on Loda up here. This could backfire really heavily.
Oh, nice disruption. I'm not sure if the ship would have hit, but either way, Vengeful Spirit's going to stay alive for a little bit longer, but not long enough as Puppey will go down one way or another. Kunkka getting the last hit yet again. That is 4 kills for Loda. Holy jeez. EMP's not going to hit Dendy in the mid lane, though. As, yeah, 4 kills for both Kunkka and Invoker. So S4 and Loda just doing work today.
And the reason this is even right now is mainly the difference in last hits at the moment. Funnick is quite a bit behind Admiral Bulldog, but at the same time S4 has half the farm of Dendy. He's really dragging ahead, and Hvost also sitting on more last hits than Loda does. He has the Midas advantage though, so I guess all in all that kind of evens out. And yeah, this... I feel like right now it comes down to how Na'Vi are able to execute their strategy in the next 5 minutes, because they have the potential when Juggernaut's healing ward is almost level 4 now. Dendy's going to get Exorcism level 2 in not too long as well. And then Na'Vi really have fighting potential. Nyx is going to be level 7 as well. And at the same time, you can say for Alliance, they have all their key abilities up as well. Global Silence is available. The ship, we talked about it, it's now level 2. Bristleback is now level 9. He's doing really well for himself.
Oh, S4 getting swapped into the stun. Silence. Too much damage. Dendy getting the last hit. Is this going to turn into a push is the question. I guess they don't even need Exorcism. This tower is basically dead to begin with. And the Radiant actually end up taking that from Na'Vi. So a little bit less gold for... How does that work now, actually? I completely forget. It used to be you actually get more gold overall if the Radiant or Dire get the kill. But I think now it's different, right?
Yeah, you get the same gold overall plus a bonus for whoever last hits the tower. So
yeah, so in general, you technically get less money if the Radiant or Dire gets the last hit now. Correct?
Yes, you simply lose the extra gold that the guy last hitting it would get. Okay. It's yeah. Top lane. Funnick is gonna go on his. Oh man, EGM is so dead. I could actually steal it with one Shadow Poison.
Typical. That's how Persians do it, man. They steal all last hits. Tornado EMP, it's gonna hit, and the Impale is gonna be used.
That was a smart play from Funnick there. He just throws Impale to take less damage from the EMP. Really sneaky play there, as Ake now is gonna be hunted by Dendy. Dendy's really quick, by the way. He has the Yule Scepter and Phase Boots. 503 movement speed when Phase is activated. Is gonna go here, but Bulldong shows his donger, and Dendy flees in fear immediately.
It's a pretty big donger, I won't lie. We might have a team fight here in the mid lane. We're having some rotation from S4. But it looks like Na'Vi doesn't want to take part in this. Probably a good choice since it is a 2v4 in that situation at least. Looking at the tower advantage. 2 towers down for Na'Vi, 0 for Alliance. I guess that's not a huge surprise considering the team that they're going up against, but we're going to have a smoke. And this is where things get scary for... Actually, looking at Kunkka, his pipe is fixed, by the way, thanks to his death. Sometimes that happens, I suppose. Maybe it was a... No, I don't think he swapped. I'm not sure what that bug is. Either way, he's not Terminator anymore. Now he's just a pimp with a pipe.
It's because he died. He's not supposed to die, right?
Yeah, that's true. Terminator doesn't die.
Alright, Bristleback in mid. The healing ward actually already used by Hvost. That's kind of a big deal if that one gets removed, because then Alliance can much easier go in. Actually, they are going to go in Funnick right now.
Tornado EMP. Bulldog has absolutely no mana. Along with Funnick, though, this is a dead Funnick one way or another. In the meantime, Puppey trying to do as much support as he can, but they're going to resign to just losing one and perhaps this tower. Lots of creeps. TP support, though. This is Dendy.
I would be very surprised to see Na'Vi try to defend this.
Puts out a Crypt Wave. Crypt Swarm, I should say. And this tower's going to go down one way or another, but is it going to be denied is the question. Puppey. Bulldog's going to get the last...
And Juggernaut is going to hunt down S4. He is going to get killed. It's a double kill for Hvost. And now Bulldog is in trouble. He's going to have to run away here from Dendy, but I don't think he's going to get out of it. And that was just really smartly played by Na'Vi. I thought they couldn't defend that, but they did really good AoE damage before the fight actually even started. They got Wave of Terror off. They got a couple of Crypt Swarms off. And even some Shadow Poison there. No, actually, Kuroki wasn't even there. And Na'Vi just take a really good fight as Kunkka... Loda found the... Loda got killed by Hellbear Smash.
What? Where? Oh my god. That is awesome. Na'Vi's gonna finish off Roshan here. I think most people are gonna be completely confused why I stopped talking, so I just have to mention it, as Dendy's gonna be the one to take the Aegis.
It's gonna be a thing, because...
Are we gonna do that consistently?
Yeah, everything goes... All sound goes away when Global Silence is used, right? The entire battlefield falls silent. So we'll...
their top tower.
As no one can hear anything, and then we're gonna start talking again.
The Dire just disowned.
Remembered like
So,
1
that was the
second
idea.
into the global
Yeah, that's
silence.
what I
So.
noticed. So it turned out
Like,
terribly. So yeah, we were actually, this is kind of us in a nutshell. So we try to plan stuff, and the idea is good, but then Sunsfan always screws it up in the execution.
The execution is completely screwed up by me on a consistent basis. That's just my middle name. What can I say? Loaded picked up a
Shannon
Lothar
screw
or
up Scott.
Shadowblade. Shadowblade picked up. Invoker has the Force Staff. As Bulldong is actually pretty far considering the way that the lane started. He has a Vanguard and is finishing up a mech. In fact, does so
Actually got
instantly. That's
That's
very
a big
tanky
pickup,
bristleback.
because this is what one of the biggest item advantages you can have at this point in the game is if you're a mech ahead. It's just so cost efficient 17 minutes into the game. And Alliance, even though they lost that last fight, it's still not looking too shabby for them as bottom lane. Actually going to go on Phonic here. The sentry is down. X-Torrent. Easy kill for Alliance. And this
Spike Carapace will only keep him alive just a little bit longer, but yeah.
this is the same as last time. Last time he was dead too, and then Alliance tried to push a tower and they really got to pay for it. We'll see if it's the same again.
Swap on S4. Tornado's going to go off, but again, this is going to be too much damage to speak of. Ends up being a 1-for-1 overall. Definitely in favor of Na'Vi.
He was in the wrong
Off that
neighborhood right
mid-hero.
then. DP from
Absolutely.
Dendi. He might actually try to pursue this with the Yules. He has teammates coming in from the side here. He's going to hold on to it in case Bulldong wants to TP, and now he can do it. Kuroki is in range for disruption. Now in case.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight.
As we see more action here, Omni Slash goes off, the ship coming in. It's going to hit absolutely nobody, but of course, the buff is really all that matters here. Ake taking the damage from the Blade Fury, the Soul Catcher to follow. Bulldog, good lord, he's getting right-clicked to death. As EGM is going to be the last to fall in this engagement, it looks like the only survivor is Kunkka. Poor Kunkka, you're all alone, good sir. As this tower looks like it's more than dead.
Dire's bottom tower's
And of course, we didn't talk about the Roshan Aegis being picked up on Dendi. I never like Aegis on Death Prophet very much. Either way, they're going to be pushing this Tornado EMP combination. EMP is not going to hit anybody but Kuroki, who ulties S4, but of course the Ghost Walk's going to get him out of that very quickly.
Dire's top
Now this tower's in, going to take some damage, but of course Alliance is going to be back very shortly, so you expect Na'Vi to back up here.
Yeah, I think that they'll actually take the tier 3 here. Oh, they'll force the glyph. Now they're going to go out, but I'm very surprised Alliance chose willingly to take a 4 and 5 there. They knew that Invoker was down, or it was a 4 and 4 to begin with, granted, but they knew Invoker was down, they knew Nyx had a lower respawn time, and they were pushing a tier 1. So Nyx could come back into the fight, TP in, and they essentially ended up getting a 5 on 4 there. And Alliance, they don't have enough AoE damage and control without S4 there. I think it's a much bigger blow to them that they're lacking the Invoker than it is to Na'Vi lacking the Nyx Loda, X-Torrent. Actually gonna see a Vendetta coming out from Phonic here. And Alliance are gonna be happy with that and go back, but Na'Vi, they're not letting go on the aggression now. They've got some momentum in this game now, 5k experience and gold.
Dire's mid tower's having
And the question is, can Alliance hold this? Tornado EMP will come off any second now from S4.
And of course the ship from Kunkka is available to use at any time. Dendi, Exorcism, it just feels like he just used that. Either way, stun from Vengeful Spirit along with the Tornado. Spike Curve is going to prevent a little bit of damage. S4 is going to be the first to die though. Good lord, this is not good for Alliance's Cyclone used on EGM. There comes the ship again. Oh, it's going to hit actually Phonic. But again, the buff is really all that matters here, as it should be enough for Loda to get away if they choose to do so, but they're going to continue to aggress, it looks like, as Bulldog should be pretty careful as the Omni Slash is going to rip him to shreds. Good lord almighty. Na'Vi just ripping through Alliance left and right. This tier 2 tower will fall,
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
and I believe they will fall back eventually. Of course, they have so much sustainability, though. So, you can... Oh,
yes.
Cyclone.
EGM really overextending here.
So much burst damage to follow.
Easy kill.
Oh, they're going to continue. Loda really wants to go in. Nice! Beautiful disruption. Going to prevent the torrent completely. Puppy's going to get frostbit. This is going to break things up. Either way, that was a possible death avoided thanks to the disruption from Kuroki. Beautifully done.
And Alliance are really, they want to fight so badly, you can tell. But again, S4 has kind of been locked down this game. And it's a big... it's one of the best ways to counter Alliance, to be honest, is to make sure that S4 gets a bad game, because he's usually a really big playmaker for this team in that mid role. Has a nice mid hero this game for it as well, but they've just successfully really locked him down. He lost his lane, he's died 6 times, and every single fight they go for S4. They lock him down. This time around it was the Spike Carapace after the Tornado actually. He didn't even get the EMP off. That's a really big loss for him. He needs to tornado EMP, and basically the way Na'Vi are playing this right now, he needs to tornado EMP and then force staff out, because if he's even remotely close to the center of the fight, he just gets blown up. Dendi, X-Mark, not going to torrent it as he is silenced here. Dendi will easily back out. He even has an Aegis and a Bloodstone. This, holy shit, this DP is farmed.
That is pretty insane.
He's still not highest on net worth. That is Crust with the Manta style and 4,000 gold in the bank. Na'Vi
Buy
are looking
something
really
already.
good here.
Good lord, man. Blink Dagger picked up on Funnick, and I mean, we talk about mobility on Nyx all the time, and since his Impale was changed, it's just so much better now getting a Blink Dagger than like a Dag. Of course, Dag is still kind of a troll build overall, but I guess it depends on the game. But overall, mobility with a Blink and Force Staff, Nyx becomes like such a high tier hero. Always fun to watch. Dendi has a double damage rune, and of course they don't have a Rax yet, but they are in the major advantage. We're looking at the gold. 10,000 gold lead for them, along with the 10,000 experience lead, so 10k both ways.
You got to point out as well the potential the supports have in Navi's lineup as well. These are two of the best mid-late game supports. The Nether swap is amazing, Disruption is amazing, and they have lots of BKB counters with both the swap, the Demonic Purge. Just the damage sources Na'Vi have are really heavily physical, both DP Ultimate as well as Juggernaut's Omnislash. It's hard for Alliance to item build against this Na'Vi lineup with anything else than raw HP, because if they get Magic Immunity, they just die. If they don't, they get completely controlled by all the stuns. So in that regard, it's a very intelligent composition here from Na'Vi, and you could look at Alliance's side and you can be like, okay, these supports actually have good potential in mid-lane game as well, but they're more farm dependent to be able to do it. Crystal Maiden in a mid-late game scenario kind of needs a BKB to get a good ultimate off, unless it is possible, but it's very unlikely. And for Silencer, he needs items. Right now, he is a global silence and a last word, basically, but doesn't have that, you know, he doesn't have that big punch or big game-breaking save as the other heroes do, apart from his ultimate, which is a huge cooldown. So,
is it just me, or it's just really hard for me to look at Silencer as a support? I mean, I don't know if this is something like going back to old days with Silencer mid, or just more solo, like carry Silencer, but I just can't get rid of that feeling that I don't like him as support. He's very level dependent. I mean, farm obviously helps, but I don't know. It's hard for me to look at him as like, and the same kind of goes for Vengeful Spirit though. But of course, she's getting levels this game. Not amazing farm, but since Navi's winning, she's gonna help her ways. But of course, the level 2 swap is what we're really focusing here. That is huge. Once this hits level 2 and beyond, I think you've mentioned this in the previous cast. The positioning, just changing positions for the enemy, like choosing where they are, is just insane. As we're gonna have Tornado EMP. It's gonna hit on Puppy, and there's the Omnislash to follow. He's going so deep, it's gonna kill! And boy, is that it is an Aghanim Scepter, I was gonna say.
He even got away from that. They couldn't turn on him. And S4 could not invoke Ghostwalk in time there. He must have had cooldown after invoking the others, because he had plenty of time, or just was in disbelief of how many times Frost was jumping. Loda gonna get popped in here. Bulldog is doing a good amount of damage though.
How about that? Dire's top tower's getting beat down. 2 down.
And now Dendi,
and while we went silent, this game ended, basically, as Na'Vi is completely dominating. We have 2 buybacks for Alliance. Dendi getting silenced. I'm sorry, he silences, I should say. EGM just trying to fall back to the base. Soulcatcher Disruption, though, on Loda. That, in all likelihood, is enough, and GG's come out. Na'Vi completely dominates his ultra kill from Dendi, playing a beautiful Death Prophet. Although she's hideous in nature, beautifully played today.
Yeah, that was... I'm really surprised this game was as short as it was, because it was shaping up to be very even in the early game, but just 1 or 2 questionable decisions from Alliance and excellent play from Na'Vi on exploiting it just really snowballed them off to a very easy game 1 here. So, I guess there's not much more to add to that. Na'Vi just executed their strategy really well. Before we go into the ad break, we actually have a little bit of a